afternoon, good evening, good morning for you folks. It's your man always, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bottom Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we got another weekend. I can't tell you, folks, time is flying. It's been kind of a busy week for me. This is going to be my fourth interview. I think by the time things start slowing down, the season starting to wind down, you have the Olympia coming up in about another 4 weeks. Can you believe it? The 60th Olympia. So, folks, as a content maker, I enjoy doing this to talk to someone who in the sport of bodybuilding, and also someone who just made her pro, no, who just turned pro. She hasn't debuted yet, but she just turned pro. And, it's kind of like you never that say you get that fish in the line. So we have here the lovely Mrs. Jaime Buffalari. If I got a name wrong, I want to apologize. Yeah,
That was good.
yeah, thank you. And she, like I said, just turned pro last week at the North Americans, and also she's been competing for quite some time. Also, she is a former United States Marine, Semper. And to anybody who serves our country, I don't say thank you. I say, as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice you've made for this country. That's what I say to you. And yeah, and we appreciate the time she gave us to talk. She's a busy lady. She works in security. I don't know, guys. I saw her in security. I would say, you can pat me anytime. And especially with a name like Buff. So, man, thank you for coming through and appreciate the time you've given us. So, yeah, you're welcome. So, this is a question I often ask you ladies. What got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share your story.
So I never was really into the bodybuilding, the idea of it. I was just very much into fitness. When I was in the Marine Corps, I actually met the bodybuilding coach when I was in Iraq. And he said, you have great muscle. Would you ever think about competing? And I was kind of like, yeah, no, not really. I just kind of do this for myself. So I met the head coach when I got back from Iraq at Pendleton, and he's such a cool dude. Very motivating, very he was like your dad, like he just was this warm fuzzy, so I just started lifting with him. Like he was such a cool individual. There was just like no other way. So yeah, I started with the Marine Corps bodybuilding team. Did that for a couple years. I actually had orders to the team. So all I had to do for the Marine Corps once I got back was eat, sleep, and lift. So I was like, it's almost like I'm getting paid as a pro because I'm eating, sleeping, and lifting like pros do. So I mean, it just kind of all fell into place. I did really well my first couple years. I found a love for it and been doing it off and on since. So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, you were in the Marine Corps, and you had that time, and you train, you work out, they paid you for it. That's a good thing about that. You don't get that much pay if you win Ivy Pro or as an amateur. And
Exactly.
what got you into the Marine Corps? Because that's a big question. Because that's the toughest. I know I've just had a couple ladies who I talked to who also were service members. They just did also the Masters Olympia and the North Americans. Julie Webler, she's also a former Army veteran, and also Christina Ward. What got you into it? Why?
I was not interested in going to college after high school, and I needed something that was going to challenge me. So I started looking into the military. The Army, because I was not 18 yet, was not interested. So I went over and took a look at the Marine Corps, and because it is the best, the most elite, I knew that was like where I needed to be as well. So I went right after high school and had a great time. The best time of my life. I had a blast. No bad things to say.
That's pretty good. You served in Iraq, and I had family members who were there. One of my nephews served in Afghanistan in the army. My
Okay.
niece, she was in the army also, but she was stationed here stateside. And I know especially your family were worried about you. Being concerned, especially at the time of the Gulf War and things going around. Your parents still around?
They are. They
Yeah.
are. My dad actually came to the show. He was able to come to the show, so he got to see it all happen.
Yeah, I saw that picture. So it's your mom and dad together. You know, I know they're proud of you, but I know the back of the head, especially because we talked to her. Her family's Italian, and I know her mother saying, "Why? darling, why you want to be so muscular and it's not very feminine. And I know we talked earlier. She has a brother, and her dad probably said, "Oh, I got a son. I don't need another son. I want my girl." So, what was that like when you were telling your family we got into bodybuilding?
So that's my stepmom. But so my mom has always been 100% supportive of everything that I've done. I was like the first girl at my high school to try out for the football team. My mom 100% supported that. Like I've always been the one to like do the not so normal things for females. But my mom is always, regardless of what little adventure that I want to do, she supports it. So bodybuilding, she's always been there with me, 100%. Not asking me why I want to be muscular, not anything like that. She just cheers me on, and same with my dad. You know, they all cheer me on. They've never said like, you know, why are you putting on so much muscle, and that's not feminine. Like nobody, I've never had that kind of response with anybody supporting me with this.
That's
So it's
good.
been good. Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, I know you see. I've seen pictures with your boyfriend. What's his name? How long y'all been together?
Dave. His name's Dave. We've been together 6 years next week. But we've known each other since 2010.
Does he
So long
compete
time.
too?
He does not.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big
Uh,
dude though.
yeah, he has that look. He has that gym bro look. I mean,
Yes,
he's
he
got a
he
big dude.
definitely he definitely lifts, but he does not compete. He likes to eat too much.
What man doesn't? We have some comments here. We got here from a man, Warrior 2000. Shout out to Warrior. He says, the thumbnail is interesting. The image looks very Julie Garlish. You know,
I'll take
uh,
it.
yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, he said this. He says, but Jamie looks beautiful in the picture. Very classy. Thank you,
Thank
brother.
you.
And
Yeah.
also, he says, on that note, George, what's up? Appreciate that, brother. What's up to you? Also, we have some comments here. We have here from Stefan Prey. He says, congratulations on getting your pro card.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, brother. Appreciate that. Also, this is from a Ronald Grimson. He says, where she's been for the past decade. Ask ask her that. So I don't know if this is somebody you know or just
I don't know.
so, some guys come in here, they just, but, when you first competed, what was that feeling like? And when was that?
I competed back in 2004, and I competed in women's bodybuilding. Women's physique wasn't around yet. So my first 3, 4 years in the sport was in women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, I remember Williams was Eating came out to maybe about, it's been around for maybe about last 10 years now. And I think because there was a lot of push against women's bodybuilding, how the division was going. Because 2004, that was
Yeah.
around the year when Iris won the Miss Olympia. And I think there was a lot of changes
Yeah.
after that. You only at one point you only had three divisions. At one point, you had figure fitness
Right.
and women's bodybuilding, and
Yep.
then bikini came along,
Yeah.
and then physique came along, and now you have at least, I think, at least six divisions for the
Oh,
women's and four for the
there's
men.
yes, correct. A lot. And now
Yeah.
wellness, which is nice because there's a category for everybody. You know, so you women that don't want to be big bodybuilders, they now have women's physique. Women who don't want to be figure or do fitness, they have bikini. So there's something for everybody. So it's nice. The sport's evolving.
Yeah, like wellness for those women who don't can't get those aesthetics like in physique or in bikini, or figure. They are a little thicker in the leg and the thighs. The body's a little bit more even. It's a very
Nice
popular
things.
division. And I think it's been a
Absolutely.
lot more attention. Um, Here we got a comment here from a man, War 2000. Congratulations being a new member in the IFBB family, Jamie. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
And yeah, and now, like I said, what was that feeling like for you when they told you you're now IFBB pro?
I honestly was shocked. I wasn't expecting to take the overall in women's physique, so that was a shock for me, but very pleasantly surprised. Um, yeah, it was great. I did the Patriots Challenge 3 weeks before that. Wasn't totally happy with what I was bringing in, but that wasn't my main focus. Pittsburgh was. So I upped the ante, and I really pushed and put a lot of work into it these last 3 to 4 weeks before Pittsburgh. So I was really happy with what I brought. So yeah, it was a great feeling. It was surreal.
Hmm. Yeah, it is. I mean, you got to think about it. The time you put it in, how long you've been competing, the work you put in, and it's just it's amazing. I know I've seen ladies who got their pro cards. It's like the same experience if they won the qualification for the Olympia.
Yeah.
It's just the time, the money you put into, the investment into. It's a very tough sport. So,
Yep.
folks, what I'm going to do here is after after these shows they usually do little interviews. So I do have her interview from the North Americans. I'm going to pull it up, and I don't know if she's seen it yet, but this is why I
I've seen
enjoy
it.
doing this. Yeah, so if you want to check it out, we'll pull it up in a bit, and you can check it out. You can go to NPC Online and watch it. It's like I said, anytime when I do these interviews, I try to do research on somebody. I want to know a little information about them. So we'll put it up here in a minute.
Goodness gracious.
Good evening, everyone. This is Skylar Lanier with NPCNewsOnline.com at the 2024 NPC North American Championships. And I'm here with Miss Jaime, who won not one pro car, but two pro cars and is the overall winner for women's physique. So, how does it feel to be an IFBB pro?
It feels amazing. I've been doing this for a while now, so this is full circle, and I feel great. I'm very blessed.
So, how long have you been competing for?
I started in 2004 in women's bodybuilding, and then took some breaks here and there, but I've always come back to it because I love it.
So, what made you start from women's bodybuilding to go to women's physique?
They didn't have women's physique when I started, so it was just women's bodybuilding.
So, what's your favorite part about women's physique?
I like the posing for it, and I like the fact that it's a softer, more feminine side of bodybuilding. So it lets, I think, a lot more opportunity for women who don't want to get big and bulky to compete and do well.
I agree. So with this prep, what was the most challenging part of prep and how did you overcome it?
My job makes prep very challenging because I'm on a 2-week rotation and I travel all over the world. Okay. So to find places and food and get everything in that I need to get in, it made it challenging, and we did it.
So how did you do that with traveling, and how did you learn how to balance prepping and work?
I think because I've been doing it for so long, I've kind of found that niche in there, but I knew I had to make it happen to do it, so I made it happen.
You definitely did. Walking away with 2 pro cards, that's insane. So before you leave, because I'm sure you're starving and you want to go celebrate, who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank Team Hewley, so my coach Shane and Tiffany. I'd love to thank my boyfriend Dave, my family who's out here, and everybody, family and friends that support me and put up with all of this. So thank you.
Congratulations again and welcome to the IFBB. You're welcome.
Well, congratulations and welcome to the IFBB, as they say. What was that experience like? The interview, you kind of, I know it gets a little nervous when you're talking to some of these people, and you're there, and you just, it's a whole experience for you. Did you feel like you were certain because you were doing both figure and physique? You feel like you were certain that you can get your pro card that day?
So from the call outs during prejudging, we kind of figured yes. I got first call outs on a lot of things. I didn't move from the center on a lot of different occasions. So we kind of figured walking away from prejudging, it would be one or the other, just kind of depending on what the judges were looking for that day. But nothing is guaranteed. So, um, yeah, we were thinking yes, but then, you never know. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because sometimes the judges. What I've learned from this, the judges always go by what they see before them, and that's why you see a lot of women. I know this lady who was at that show also. She got 3 pro cards, 2 in physique and 1 in figure. And this is where I say like this, where the look is kind of where it's just like where it's kind of really women's bodybuilding, women's physique, even figure are starting to meld.
Yes.
Where they almost look alike, where you can't really just about tell the difference. And now, as a pro, what did you see or your mindset, what you see as a sport as it evolves? You've been competing for at least over 20 years.
Um, for myself, for my next competition, I know I need to up my game a little bit. I need to come in a little bit bigger for women's physique. So I'm going to work on putting on more size just because I want to be able to keep compete with these women at this level. Um, they're big girls. I think, like you said, that everything's kind of meshing together. And it could be that that day there's a bikini girl that looks great, but she has more muscle. And if she takes first, then that kind of changes what the look is for bikini, and it just kind of does that with everything. So if, a figure girl looks a little bit like a physique girl, but she wins first, that kind of changes it now for figure that day. So it's ever changing, but I have some areas that I definitely need to work on and grow before I make that pro debut. So
Hmm. Yeah, that's good. And you mentioned your coaches. So how long you been working with them? And share your story how y'all met.
this is my first season with Team Hewley. I've been following him for a while on Instagram, and he has tremendous success in all the categories that he coaches. And so I reached out to him and asked him if he would be willing to take me on as a client, and he said yes, and it was a match. So
Oh, that's pretty
yeah,
good.
I mean
Um,
he had a ton of pro cards from that show. I think probably over 10 girls that got pro cards and I'm not sure about the guys, but I know girl wise at least, if
well,
not
first
more.
right here first we have to take care. I think she froze a bit. I can hear her, but something is wrong with her video.
My
I
bad.
don't know. Yeah, you might want to, if you want to take a second and come in, come out. I don't know. Yeah, because there you go. Because we had this technical before. What is it about Saturday? I had this problem before another Saturday. I don't know what's going on, folks. Maybe because we're in another
I think it's
area.
the heat. It's the heat of LA. It's melting everything.
Oh yeah. See, we already. I think we're kind of cool here in North Carolina. I know. I did an interview with a lady. She lives in around about LA, and yeah. I think y'all. I think between LA, Texas, I don't know. I couldn't take it.
Mm.
I could. I don't know. But yeah. It's good that you found him. You got a relationship, and he's doing good work with you.
He's doing
So
great work.
yeah. So where's that feeling for yourself when they told you you were IB Pro?
A little bit of disbelief, but a lot of excitement, um, and just a sense of relief. I think too that like it finally happened. It finally happened. Like we finally did it, and everything paid off. So I think a lot of relief there, satisfaction as well that all the hard work paid off.
Yeah, that's the thing is you put in the time because this is one thing about this sport, especially for y'all women. This is a sport that's a little bit more expensive for the females compared to the men. The men they gotta wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts.
Yeah.
You ladies, you have to like you saw you had your nice little suit, your makeup, your hair done, you put in the tanning, everything else, and all this that contributes to being a bodybuilder. But this is why I say I think there should be more like recognition, more opportunities, especially now you're a pro. One thing is that you got to pay this card every month to keep it updated. That's like a couple of dollars in your pocket. And that's another expense you incur. We have to worry about doing entry fees anymore. But there's always something to the sport.
Yeah.
And you have to do this for love of it. Because, like I said, it's not like a mainstream sport like football, basketball, where you can make a living off of it. And you like I say, you have a job, you work, and and your job is a serious story. Your job, how you started with your job.
So when I got out of the Marine Corps, there was a job fair at Camp Pendleton, and the company that I started with, they had no females at the time. So I was one of their first female agents. And I've been with it for almost 17 years now. I love it. I do well at it. So it's great job security for a well seasoned female as well. So
Mhm. And you mentioned you work in security. Yeah, you don't see a lot of women in security. I think some jobs people's idea of thinking that women shouldn't be doing something like that. Especially you're a bodybuilder, and that's one of those sports where people don't think women can do, or like there's always going to be double standard between men and women. But you are a trained United States Marine. You understand what's your purpose and how you do your job, and your focus. That's one thing that's most important here. That I
Yes,
think also being a bodybuilder, focus and consistency is important.
absolutely.
Yeah. We got here comments from my man Lawrence Perkins. He just come in through here. He says, "Good afternoon, Jamie and George. Good afternoon, brother."
Hello.
Also, we got here from my man Warrior. He says, "I'm not going to be here long. I will be off in 4 minutes." He says, and he's gonna say, "Bye." Appreciate it,
Hi.
brother, for coming through. We appreciate you. Shout out to you. So now you're an IFB pro. What's the plan? As you know, you say you're gonna get a little bigger. So you think you're gonna make your debut next year or the year after next?
I'm shooting for 2025.
Mm,
So, yeah, maybe Pittsburgh again. We'll see.
yeah,
Yep.
that is the Pittsburgh Pro. That's a popular show. Or like I
Yep.
said, you are of the Masters class, so you could maybe do Masters. World Championship. If you're interested in that one, because
Yeah.
next year is the return of the Masters Olympia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to look at the schedule and kind of see obviously what works with my work schedule as well, because that unfortunately takes priority. So,
Yeah.
you gotta pay this stuff. But no, yeah, I got to see kind of what falls into working well with that. So,
Yeah. And you live in LA, there's not a lot of bodybuilding shows in California. I think just have one coming up. Some of the shows are mostly either the wellness divisions, bikini, but
yeah.
I know there's shows like the Arizona Pro, which is part of the Rising Phoenix. There's the Legions, which is in
Hmm.
Nevada. Texas Pro, which you saw that
Yeah.
Sarah Vivians put up
Yeah.
$15,000
Yeah.
for that, and kick about $15,000. What could you do with
That's
fifteen
great.
thousand dollars?
Yeah. Buy another suit.
Yeah, because people forget those suits cost you an arm, a leg, a kidney, a liver. I mean,
They're so pretty.
yeah.
When I
It's so
started, the bodybuilding suit was just plain, So the female bodybuilders we didn't dazzle the suits out, so we just had like a plain, color, no, not a lot of jewelry, and it was just the figure girls and the physique or the fitness girls that had jeweled out suits. So it's nice that we get to play with that too.
well, I think mostly because they want for women's bodybuilding to be more feminine. Like, because I remember back in the day, yeah, when they used to have the plain suits, you only had the one suit.
Yeah,
Some competitors would have two suits. You have your suits for your prejudging, your suits for your finals. And it's just things have changed because
yes,
really there's a more pushback for we want to be more feminine. That's why physique was created. Because
yeah,
if you look at it, women's body was getting pushed out. It was like 20 after 2014 they kicked it out of the Olympia. Promoters start having it, and then physique came along. And then one of my favorite people, anytime I think about this guy because he really saved women's bodybuilding. That's Mr. Jake Wood. And yo Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. I got to do my Jake from Training Day. Anytime I miss his name, he came along. And he gave women's bodybuilding a place. And physique is even starting to get that little stink eye where you're not at the Arnold anymore. Just so a promoter, Jack Tatone, kicked them out because there's only like 5 competitors compared to when there
yeah,
was Pittsburgh, there was 3 competitors.
yeah. I
Yeah.
so doing the Patriots Challenge, I think in that whole show there was under 50 competitors. And that was for a whole show, and it was Vegas, so I was thinking that was going to be a little bit bigger, but I mean it was small. But to your point, the categories very few in figure and very few in women's physique. But yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. Well, as I say, it's about what's the popular division right now is wellness,
yeah,
and also bikini,
maybe, yeah,
and figure. Even figure's getting that stink out because it's not only anymore. So, folks, what we're gonna do is this: we're gonna jump into social media for a bit. Look at some stuff. You want to follow? If you want to follow Jamie, her links is in the description of this live stream. You want to check her out. You want to support her, but guys, I got a rule. I tell this to every single guy who watches and follow these ladies. And this is no offense to you, JD. It's just a warning, and disclaimer,
yeah,
guys. No D pics.
yeah. Please no, it's
Stop it.
not flattering. We don't like them. We don't want them.
Yeah, I
Just
don't know. Guys do that. This is from man, a warrior. He said this before. He said this before he
Dave
went out
will
and
kill
said,
you.
yeah. Say you also know George doesn't ask the female questions to flex on his live stream. He usually keeps it conversational. Okay, thank you. Thank you, brother. And also he says it says also you smos know the drill. whenever Joyce introduces a female guest and gives out her IG information, we say no D pics. Yes, because it's disgusting.
It is
Women
gross.
don't like that. And she's like she just said, her boyfriend is a big dude. You get a knock on
He's
your
a big
door.
dude.
You
He,
get you said you'd be like I said it was like that for that scene from Friday when Smokey got knocked out. Not Smokey, Ray got knocked out by Debo. Say,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah. He will not be happy.
yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
entertaining for me to watch. He will not be happy.
You're not happy. So, folks, we're gonna jump into social media for a bit, and here he is. And here he is. Here's with your man here. I know
Yeah.
he's so happy. What was his feeling when he saw you? I know you were crying. He was hugging you, saying, "Baby, you did a good job, huh?"
He actually was, from what I hear, he hit my dad's leg a couple times, like giving him dead leg, meaning to hit his own leg, but hitting my dad's leg. So my dad was walking around with a limp the whole evening.
Your poor dad.
Yeah,
I
his
mean,
face is cut off.
yeah, yeah. And this is everybody else, the rest of your family and friends.
Yeah, that is the girl in black. I was in the Marine Corps with her. She was my first roommate in the Marine Corps, and that is her husband next to her. But we've known each other for 25 plus years. She's one of my dear, dear friends that lives in Cleveland, so she came over.
Yeah, and there's your stepmom and your dad,
Yeah,
and there's David.
yeah.
And this is a more broader picture, it's more to span out. And here's this is your coaches.
Yes, that's Shane and Tiffany Hewley.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
yeah, so they were busy because I
they were
had a
busy.
friend of mine. I had a friend of mine. One of his clients just turned pro, and he has here. This is some pictures from the show. You're right here, and you look pretty good. I mean,
Yeah,
like I said, this is people got to say this is a tough sport.
I'm
You
good. I'm
know,
happy. I was happy with it.
yeah, and to get to and get as far you have gone, and here you are. And where was this? Was a trip look like? Where y'all
That's
at?
uh, that's we have a house in Havasu. That was on the lake a couple weeks prior.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. And
Yes.
you should enjoy your life. Your friends and
Yes.
family here. And
We work really
it's
hard to enjoy. So
yeah. And this is what is that? It looks like a dog or something. What is that?
that's a hyena. So Dave and I went to Africa last summer on vacation. So we spent about 2 weeks in Africa.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. That's a long trip. I mean, here's
Oh,
you,
it's so worth it though. Like to see that stuff in the wild and to be like inches from a cheetah per se. It's amazing. It's
yeah.
crazy.
Well, he's not too much in the wild. He's laying down with you. I don't know. I mean,
He that was those were rescued cheetahs. So they were at a conservation that saved them. I think their parents were killed or something. But these other ones are in the wild. Like that's all. We're just in a Jeep with no back on it. Like they could have jumped up in the vehicle if they wanted to.
oh hell no. I used to watch those Wild Kingdom specials. I don't know. I
Oh, it's
could
so
ever.
cool.
Yeah, I could never do that. But yeah, and this is, and this is a helicopter. This is like
Yeah.
part of training.
We no, we took I think that was Dave's birthday, maybe Father's Day present, but we did a gunship, so we shot at targets out of a helicopter in Vegas.
Yeah. So you're doing
Dave
that
was
buck
Army.
it.
Yeah, Dave was Army. I was Marine Corps, so we go back and forth all the time about the better branch of service, which is obviously the Marine Corps. But he's going to he will dispute that,
Well, it's always going to be debate between the Army and the Marine
of
Corps.
course.
You
There
got to
is no
remember
debate.
you're the little brother of the Navy,
Yeah, well, I mean,
a little
we
sister.
appreciate
Yeah.
them taking us places, but when it's time to fight, it's kind of us. So
I used to when I was younger. I went to school. I took the ASFAB, and I was interested in the Marine Corps. I used to work with this guy. He was in Navy Reserve. We were always picking on each other. Like say, you Navy boys on the ship, on the ship all by yourselves, and I got nothing but
yeah,
other women around.
yeah,
We used to go back and forth. But
it still happens.
yeah. Here we got here. I got a comment here. This is from uh my man Curtis. Shout out to man Curtis L. Jordan Jr. It says, "Oh man, you're so buff buff with tattoo you got." But he just, shout out to Curtis. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Chris.
You know, And also, we got questions from a man. Ron says, "Will Jamie ever compete in FBBing?" So, where do you think now? Because you did compete both in physique and in figure. Where do
Mhm.
you think you belong now that you are got your pro status?
I think putting on a little bit more size, physique is probably my like right up my alley. Female bodybuilding is those women are just they're massive. So I'm not interested in getting that big again. Even when I competed years ago, I did well, but I fell short of all the women who were massive. So I've always had a little bit of a leaner side to me. Um, so I think physique will be where we stick to.
Yeah, yeah, I know that's where I think a lot of people how they grow and develop as an athlete. It's the best division for them sometimes. Some I've seen women now who started out in like what example was like Ashley Jones. She was figure. Now she's done physique and now she's all the way up women's bodybuilding. People
Okay.
like Andrea Shaw, who was at one point started out at figure, and then now she's one of the top competitors in women's bodybuilding. You look at like Sarah Vilgas.
Hmm.
These women have really set the standard for the divisions. I mean, right now this weekend there's a show going on in Florida, and a couple ladies who I follow. One is Mimi. She was doing physique, but she switched to figure, and now she might be going to Olympia in figure for the third time. She's been twice in
Nice.
physique. Yeah, and there's a lady by Manon. She's a French Canadian competitor who's been competing as a figure competitor, but she's planning on switching over to physique after
Physique.
she does the Olympia. So, as a woman in this sport, how do you feel that you feel that there needs to be some more consideration or support for women in bodybuilding?
Um, I'm very big on you go out and you get what you want and what you need, and whether you get the support or not, like you do it yourself, So, um, it, more support would always be nice, if they gave more support. But if it's something that you really want, then figure out a way to go out and get it and attain it and make it yours. So,
Yeah, because it's tough. Because you know what, this is how I say like this: the men's division is always going to get the most attention because
of
this,
course,
excuse my
of
language.
course,
This is what they are. They're the bottom bitch. They're the ones that bring the
yeah,
money in for sponsorships and other stuff like that and endorsements. But you ladies, you make up the majority of the sport. I
yes.
think a lady told me it's like nearly 6% of bodybuilding is women. But you look at the shows where prize money is not even cracking over double digits. Maybe
I
I said what
mean,
Cher did. Yeah, when you get $15,000. This is why I think this should be. I'm
I
not
think that's
saying.
great.
Yeah,
I think that's great that she does that, and
yeah.
other women are doing that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, like what Whitney Jones and Andrea is doing, and also Cindy Gillen, creating the Triple O Dynasty just because they won the place for the women's divisions. I think right now it's just physique, women's bodybuilding, and figure. There's another show coming up, I think, in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be fitness and women's bodybuilding. They have other men's division, but as a fan, I really gotta respect what y'all ladies do. My crime, I'm gonna make my crime. I'm a muscle person smoke. I think y'all ladies excite me. And there's people just gonna have that idea that as a woman with muscle, it's kind of it's not very, very, you know, their mindset natural. Did you ever have to deal with people shaming you and bullying you because this is the sport you chose to compete in?
Not to my face. I'm sure people talk, and I'm sure there's comments that are made, but I've not had a negative response to my bodybuilding. I was when I went to nationals in 2007. And the judges told me I think I got ninth place in women's bodybuilding, which I was super happy with, top 10 at my first national show. But they told me, you know, never lose your femininity. So it's not it's not worth a plastic trophy to lose your femininity. And I kind of took that to heart. So I've never taken it past the point, and I feel like I still look feminine. But I've never I've never pushed it too far to where I feel like I'm losing that. So, and I don't plan on doing that. So,
Yeah, because that's the one thing I think with bodybuilding, people are always going to point the finger about it, the use of performance enhancers, steroids, how it could change aspects of femininity. But it's almost in every sport, steroids and performance enhancers. It's just so easy to pick on bodybuilding
of
compared to
course,
the others.
of course, because it's not natural for us to like look like this when we cut our water and cut our car. You know, it's not natural for anybody to look like this. So it's easy, and not everybody can do it. So that's the quick go to. You know, well, it has to be
Mm,
this or it has to be that. Or but people don't realize that there are natural shows that people aren't allowed to do this stuff in. So when they have that same look, those people are doing it naturally. Um, but it's like you said, it's with every sport. You know, and people want to see top, like nobody's coming to the Olympia to see somebody that looks like, a 5-year-old kid. They want to see the Ronnie Colemans and the Jay Cutlers back in the day and the Arnolds, like, so there's only one way that they're going to get like that. So they got to be okay with it.
yeah.
But
Yeah, and thing is that people don't say that you just don't pop a pill and just boom. You have to be consistent, follow a diet, you stay on a steady regimen, and
it's still a lot of work. Like it's not like you pop a magic pills and, you wake up the next morning and everything is here. There's still the working out and the diet and everything else that comes with it. So it's not the magic pill. Like they work just as hard or harder to achieve what they're hoping for, even on stuff. So
mhm. Yeah. So what when you're working out and training, what's that workout that I'd love to do it every day, and that workout I say, shit, I don't want to do this shit. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
um I have a love-hate relationship with the stair climber. But I love back. So back is one of my favorite things to work. If I could do back every day, I would. Um, but yeah, right now it's the love-hate relationship with the stair climber.
So just leg day. Might as well say that. Just
No,
that's
I like leg day. I love leg day.
oh.
I used to love it a lot more as I've gotten older. It's a love-hate relationship with legs as well. But just the cardio aspect of the stairmaster for an hour, it's you're just walking but not going anywhere. So
What
I like
what
to go
body
places.
what bodybuilder likes cardio?
I mean,
It's just I know it's a way to maintain, especially helps your heart. It helps you, with your energy and your stamina. But you are on the stairmaster. I know I've seen guys do stairmasters like for about you know half an hour to about an hour. I got bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I can maybe push 20, 30 minutes before. I ain't tried no stairmaster. I'll do the tread machine. I'll
mhm.
do the little I do the bike. The sitting down bike. Not the one sitting in the pad. I'm the big dude.
All
So
right.
but yeah, you have to really be consistent. You have to love. And nutrition is more important about it. So does your coach work with your nutritionist or someone else is your work with your nutritionist?
He did my nutrition as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing people that I would say that everything that involves with being a bodybuilder is your nutrition, your diet, your timing, your rest, your recovery. It's just like I said, it's not simple because like a friend of mine, he's an IB pro. He told me that George, if the guys take the shit I take when my prep and when I'm getting ready for competition, but they don't follow the same regimen as I do, they won't look as good as me. They're gonna look like a sack of shit.
Yeah, everybody's different. You got to learn your body and learn what works for you and what doesn't. It's always learning something new about your body. And as you age, now you got to relearn your body because what worked for you when you were 20 isn't necessarily going to work for you when you're 45. So it's a ever long life lesson.
Yeah, that's the thing that you get to learn to adapt and you grow,
Yeah.
and it's good that there's people like your coaches and your family and Dave who stands by you. Like it's just like I said again, people just don't understand this sport. It's a extreme sport. It's a sport that's mentally, physically, financially, emotionally draining. But like I said again, you have to love to do what you do. It's not for everybody. Like say the Greek Ronnie Coleman said like this: everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but don't want to lift that heavy ass weight.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, uh, I will say this: I will, if I could do this, if I could sponsor somebody, I would love to sponsor someone like her. But I don't have the means or the ways. But if you are someone out there who's interested in sponsoring an athlete, She's just a great person. Former Marine. She works security. She's also, as my other guy would say, she is beautiful. And, and that will help out, especially for these competitors. But guys, this is what we don't want to say. Hey Jamie, I think you're a cute little girl. Like you got those guns out there, and no. Stop it, guys. Come on, be respectful. Just say to her, says, Miss Buffalari, I have a company, and we like to sponsor you. If you're interested in working with us, we will work with you. We have a product that might be something you might be interested in. We also want to see you grow as an athlete. Just let us know, and we have a contract, and we'll set everything up. We take care of your expenses and all this, and anything you need from us, just let us know. I think that could help, especially you type of lady, you want to go get it, but also it's good to have some people that
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna like turn anything down. Like if somebody wants to help, then that's great.
yeah.
But we're gonna get it in 2015, 25,
Yeah.
2015, 2025. We're just I'm like
you,
2015.
you still in the prep brain, huh? You
I
still in the
know,
prep brain, low carbs.
low carbs.
You feel like
I told you I don't like interviews.
I know, but this is why this is what thing I learned from my other guy. What doesn't make you stranger makes you stronger. And it's good to get out of your own comfort zone. Sometimes
Of
your
course.
worst enemy could be yourself. You got to get out of your own way. We got here. This is from I can't say. I'm gonna say it's Vince. Dave Phillips. He says so freaking proud of her and for working hard and keeping that feminine side. You know,
Thank
feminine
you.
side by looking at that's a friend of yours.
That is a friend of mine. That's Anza. They were actually going to go to the show, but they couldn't make it. So but they're a huge support system for me.
That's good. And as after the show, I've asked this, especially being a fat man myself. And food is, it's just both a tool and a weapon, but sometimes it's a passion. What was that thing, Jamie? Tell me that thing that you wanted the most after the show. That thing that you desired when
So
you got off that stage.
I saw a cookie company. It was PDX Cookies out of Portland. And they're like the really stuffed, loaded up cookies. So I actually ordered some of those to have them shipped to Pittsburgh. And they had a lemon Oreo blueberry Pop Tart one that I was waiting to eat. But we went to Big Ham Tavern in Pittsburgh, which it was like a barbecue, but they had a huge variety of like pizzas and nachos and burgers. And so everybody kind of could have something different. But I had a really huge, big, fat burger that was delicious. I
Yeah.
wanted the salty.
It's just like I think everybody has a different taste. I know ladies who have a sweet tooth. I know ladies say they want something salty. I have funny thing. I have somebody say they love sushi. I'm
Ooh,
a poor good mom in my life, but I never had ate raw fish.
ooh.
But
Yeah, I'm not a sushi fan.
yeah, I think the stereotype was always gonna be burgers or pizza or something like with some sugar in it because the
But
body.
I think like you want it, and then when you want it because you can't have it, and then when you can have it, you're like, okay, I'm over it. Like time to start eating clean again. So
Yeah, that's the thing. Is eating clean. I remember when I was one point, I was almost 500 pounds, and I decided to eat a little healthy. And I went. Was like I think it was like Mother's Day weekend. My nephew, I was going in for a doctor's appointment. My nephew said, "You pick up these things." Okay, I pick up some stuff for him, and then I said, "You know what? I'm getting hungry." And one of my favorite food was a Chinese buffet place I used to go to. I went there and I ate the food, even though I was hungry. It just didn't feel good. It's because
yeah,
what? I changed my eating habits,
yeah.
But it's just a lot to really change yourself as a person and to get into sport as an athlete, and I know it's tough, especially, when you go out someplace, you can't hang with the same people you used to hang with because you have to get ready to go to sleep, you have to train, you have to do so many things in your life where, sometimes it's just what it is in life.
Yeah, life
Mhm.
happens.
Yeah.
I've sat at many dinners where everybody else is enjoying, and I'm just eating my chicken and vegetable. Sitting
I
out at
know
Lake
that's
Havasu, everybody's on the boat eating everything but what I'm eating chicken and vegetables on the boat. Like, so, yeah.
Yeah, especially like I said, it's the holidays and it's,
Yeah.
4th of July, holiday weekends, and barbecues are popping over here and there, and you smell that good food, but you're eating chicken and broccoli and carrots, and and you just it can be frustrating. But you know what? If you want it bad enough, you just look past it and just
Absolutely.
focus on your goal. Here we got here from my man David says, "Hey, what's up? What's up, David? Appreciate coming through."
Hello.
Yeah. So, like I said, we do appreciate time she given her. We're not gonna hold her much too longer. She's a busy lady. She got top flight security to do. So
Top flight security of the world, Craig.
top flight security, Craig, in the world, Craig. So yeah, and yeah, I think we hope to see you make your pro debut.
Absolutely.
I mean, like I said, whichever show, I will support it. I mean,
Yeah.
as a content maker, I try to give more attention for you ladies because you deserve that attention. Compared
Thank
to
you.
the other divisions where the men's always get attention, the TNA divisions, that's bikini and wellness, the TNA divisions, they can get attention. But you women in physique, figure, bodybuilding, fitness, it wasn't for you, those other divisions wouldn't exist. And I think your commitment and passion to the sport should be respected. People shouldn't make comments like, she's trying to be a man, yeah, 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 yeah. If you don't like something, here's the thing is, like Brady Mac says, if people don't like you, fuck them.
That's right.
That's straight up,
In a nicer way, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. So this is what I'm gonna say to you, as a competitor and as a woman in sport, what would you like out of bodybuilding for yourself?
I just want to keep having fun with it. So I really enjoy, I mean, maybe not the last couple weeks of dieting or getting like super serious with it, but I really enjoy all the aspects of bodybuilding. I love watching the physical changes of the body. I love how you feel. I love getting up there on stage and competing, meeting the girls show day. But I like everything that it encompasses. So as long as I'm still having fun with it, which I don't foresee myself not, I'm going to continue to do it. It felt really good. My my last show before this year was right before COVID. So I did 2019 Masters in LA, and that was right before COVID. So I mean, it's been a bit, but I realized that this is something that I love to do, and I'm going to continue as long as it still remains a good time. So I want that out of it. I want it to continue to be a fun experience for me.
Well, I hope it is, because you know what,
Yeah.
when you get into sport, it's a lot. But like I said again, if you love this sport, if you have a passion for it, if you're dedicated to it, I think you get there. Like, you never know. This might be the year you make your first Olympia. If not, maybe next year after that. And there's so much to the sport that people need to understand. And like I said again, bodybuilding doesn't get a lot of recognition. If it was like any main street sport, hey, you won't have to work your top flight security job. You can just be a bodybuilder.
I
But
think I would still do that too because I love my job. So
well, it's a good thing you love your
yeah,
job. Like I said, I had a couple of jobs here and there when I was young. Like I said, I used to work at a gas station when I was 16. I worked at textiles. I worked at a meat
that
packing processing plant. I worked in a strip club. So,
that
that
builds
was,
character. It all
yeah,
builds character.
yeah, it does. It really makes you more of people we respect when you see somebody who knows how to do their job,
Yeah,
and you know how to work it. That's respect is very much it's something that's earned, and when you
it's
earn it,
earned. Yes,
yeah, it's something that someone never could take away from you.
exactly.
So, folks, we like to thank the lovely Miss Jamie, Buffalari for coming through. As you know, I enjoy talking to these ladies. It's great to have a new Ivy Pro
Thank you.
in the mix.
Great
Hope
to
she
be
does
one.
well. Yeah, it's great because, like I say, hey, it's a lot of work,
Yes,
and if you're dedicated to it and you're focused to it, you can make a lot of gains. I think you could have a great future.
thank you.
I mean, and it's just me as a fan. I really respect what you ladies do. You
Thank
know,
you.
you got it. This is really tough. I mean, not everybody can do it, but the people that do it, I gotta give respect.
We appreciate it.
So before I let you go, we have anybody want to give a shout out to?
Dave, Anza, Andre, Michelle, my brother, my mom, my dad, George, Team Hewley. Thank you guys again. It was great working with you guys this year. Let's see what we got for next year.
Well, can't wait. When like I said, this is why I enjoy doing this to give y'all ladies a voice, because we need it. People need to know what it takes to be a competitor in this sport, and they need to recognize that it's not just a sport for just exclusively. Hey, it's a man's sport. It's a sport that anybody who's dedicated to can get into. It's not easy, but nothing worth having is ever easy.
No,
No,
that would not be fun.
yeah. So I say shout out to the people that was here. My man Warrior 2000, my brother Lawrence Perkins, Stephen Prey, Vince, Ronald, anybody who watched this. My man Davis Adams, appreciate you for coming through. Anybody who watched this live stream, follow Jamie on social media platforms. You check her out. If you're someone who has interested in supporting an athlete in their goals in this sport, reach out with genuine interest. Don't be that weird guy. I don't want to hear Dave knock some guy out in his house.
That's the next episode. That'll be the next episode.
Yeah, but like I said, ma'am, I do appreciate you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
what you're doing. Welcome, like I said, again to the IFBB, and we wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
One of my favorite quotes, and if my man was here, my man KL, one of yours, pick him on you, said, one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite movies, Batman Begins, when Jim Gordon turns to Batman and says, I never got a chance to thank you. And Batman turned around and said to him, you never have to. Because this is why I do this. Because you know what? I appreciate thank you, but I do this because this is something I enjoy doing. And this is something that gives me a purpose, to give you ladies the voice that no one else is giving you. And your opportunity. There's quite a few other people that does this, but you know what? I really enjoy what I do.
Good.
All right, good to you. So we're gonna let her go because you got top flight security things to do. So we appreciate y'all for coming through. Thank Jamie. Best of luck to 2025, and we hope to see you maybe in the future, maybe on the next stage.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you. So this is Man All George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, subscribe. Good evening, good night, and good afternoon, and good luck.